Yes, hello there, Spirit of Giving. Susan, hopefully you're there. This is Michael DeMarco with the company MobileCause. And on the line, I have my Vice President of Digital Marketing Services, another panelist, my colleague, Christy Noel. That's going to help us speak to fundraising, donor engagement, and nonprofit marketing ideas today. So we want to thank you all so much for joining with us and giving us this great opportunity to speak about MobileCause and how our software support and services can help you not only with fundraising, but with year-round donor engagement, to help out with your fundraising events and campaigns like the 5K Walk Run, to help out with things like Giving Tuesday, year-round fundraising with your partners, ESPN, and NFL football. So what we're going to cover today is some digital communication ideas, some compelling content, social trends, excuse me, and we're going to fuel fundraising through marketing, engage donor with marketing tips. So we do have a lot to cover in a short amount of time. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Chrissy, to help start the presentation.
Great. Thanks, Michael. Good morning, everybody. The topic of our presentation this morning is fueling fundraising and engaging donors through marketing. And it's a big topic for 30 minutes. But the main thing I want to point out is, I'm often asked, how do I break through the clutter? How do I get seen? How do I become memorable? Because that's how you're going to fuel your donors through marketing. And what I don't mean is you have to have a viral video. And as much as we all wish to be an Ice Bucket Channel challenge, that does not mean that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about being memorable through good storytelling and giving donors what they want and need. And what that is by sharing your mission. You want your donors to always understand your purpose and make that very clear. And that's not, I'm a 501(c)(3) that's trying to erase homelessness. We are trying to do our part to erase homelessness through programs, through whatever your fill in the blank or your organization or other organization. So it's really captivating them and creating a compelling story by sharing your mission. It's giving your donors convenience. You want to make it easy for them to give, and you want to make it easy for them to communicate and for you to communicate them. Let's face it, we're all busy. We've got media coming at us from every angle. You've got to break through the clutter, and if you make it easy on people, you have that ability. If it's challenging or difficult or you make them go through too many steps, then you're going to lose them. You don't want to give them anybody a reason to abandon your organization or that donation gift that they started. Donors want recognition, and there's lots of statistics that show they're more likely to make a second gift if they get thanked and recognized for the first one. And a lot of people abandon organizations because they don't feel like they were thanked or recognized. So thank them, acknowledge them, keep them up to date, and that's part of bringing in the impact. They want to know where their gift is, how it's being used, and the impact your organization is making because of that gift. So you need to keep them updated and cultivate them and nurture them so they continue to be repeat donors. And you don't just thank them and be silent. You say, hey, this is what we're doing with that money. This is the lives we've changed. This is the children that have been impacted. That you can share pictures. And then trust. You need to earn and keep their trust by continuing to deliver on all of these items and continuing to communicate with them. And so always keeping these things top of mind as you work on your marketing strategies. And that's what we're going to talk about next. So we have a few tips to help you engage your donors. And what we're trying to do, if we're suggesting that if you follow these tips, you'll create engaging experiences for your donors. And what that will do for your organization is it helps you scale your mission faster and more cost effectively. You can achieve your fundraising potential. You can engage with your donors on a meaningful level so they become repeat donors. And you can generate participation on a much larger scale. So let's start by talking about tip number 1, cultivating your donors through multiple channels. And we want to use all of the marketing arsenal in your toolkit. I think I mixed my metaphors there, but text, email, newsletters, direct mail, social media, all of it needs to be part of your marketing plan. As I said, the people are getting media at them and constantly throughout the day in multiple ways. So you really need to use all of the communication tools that you have with the hopes that at least a couple of your messages will get through. Not all of them will, but the more you do communicate, the higher probability your donors or potential donors are going to see them. So you can identify which media your budget can support: TV, radio, direct mail, print. They're all good, but they all cost money. So if that's not in your budget, you're going to look at social media, email, texting, being out in the community, and incorporate that into your marketing strategy. On the social media side, you need to determine which social media platforms you're comfortable with. I'm not suggesting you get on every platform out there. That's just way too much work, even as a consumer. So pick the 2 to 3 that you'll keep up with, that you're comfortable with, and then really use those as your social media platforms. One thing I hear from my clients a lot is that they're worried about spamming, and they don't want to send too many social media posts, or they're worried about texting. And as a consumer, I appreciate that concern, but I often tell them that if you don't tell your message often, it doesn't make it to the top of the news feed, and it will never be seen. I just read a statistic that if you're on Facebook, out of the 1,500 possible posts that you could see, only 300 will make it to your news feed. So that's 1/5 of the messages that are on posts that are directed towards you are actually making it to your news feed. So if you as an organization aren't continually putting posts, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, email, you're not going to make it to the top to get seen by your donors. So again, I'm not suggesting you be on all platforms, but pick the couple that you're comfortable with, and then make sure you're continually adding and communicating and responding, tagging, commenting with your potential donors. You want to make sure, tip number 2 is go mobile, because we want the donors to be able to communicate with you, gift to you, get messages from you on their phone. We're all tied to our smartphone or tablet, our mobile devices. So we want to make it easy for them to give or get involved through mobile and online giving. And you can do that through text messaging, through sending updates about the organization, sending updates about your 5K, getting volunteers to sign up or give them a blast about when the next orientation is, or anything along those lines. You can use text to give at events and at the 5K and other places. So, and most importantly, you want anything that you're putting together for that's donor facing to be responsive. And by that, I mean it looks good on a phone, it looks good on a tablet, it looks good on a computer screen, and it is easy to work with and is very user-friendly on any of those devices. So I'm going to show an example, and Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you real quick when this.
Yes. Thank you, Christy. I really like what you said about breaking through the clutter and reaching the audience. So what we want to do is, like Christy mentioned, is create online campaigns that you can promote that are mobile responsive, that can reach a wider audience, that can get more eyeballs on your campaigns, on your events, on your promotions. So here at MobileCause, we offer a donor engagement software that can plug into all of your different communication channels. It integrates into your website, email, Facebook, social media channels, and they all have branded texting keywords specific to your organization, Spirit of Giving. So we want to make it very simple, fast, and easy for your donors, for your audience to give across any platform, any device with the click of a button. I read a great statistic the other day that 90% of all Americans have a magic device in their pockets called a smartphone. And these 90% of Americans check their smartphone 85 times a day. So you want to make sure that you're going to have the technology to be able to get in front of those eyeballs where they're at, like I mentioned earlier, across any different type of platform, device, or social media. Um, and our software will allow you to do that.
Great. Thanks, Michael. And one of the things that, from your marketing component, getting people to your donation page or your volunteer registration or your 5K registration, there's a lot of what's nice about MobileCause is if you're sending out a direct mail, you can give a keyword and a short code and put that on the direct mail, so people don't have to type in a URL. They can just use their phone to text in a short keyword, as Michael was saying. Or you could put a QR code on it. Somebody can just scan that and go immediately. Both those methods will take somebody immediately to a form similar to the one you're looking at. If you're out in the field, you're on radio, you're on TV, you're giving a presentation, that's when you would tell people to text in to give. So you can tell people to text Spirit OG to 41444 and send them to whatever you've set up for them to land on. Social media, you would use links to a donation page in the body of your message, but in the image, again, you can use a text and a keyword, a short code and a keyword, so that if people are on their phone, there's a link there, but also if they want to come back to it later, they know that keyword and short code. And so what's nice about MobileCause, we provide all these different ways, and we'll work with you to make sure to make it as easy as possible for your donors to get to you. Giving
All right.
Tuesday.
Yes. Go for it, Kristen.
I think I counted 71 days away from Giving Tuesday, believe it or not. So time to get started now. It's not too early, nor is it too late. That's the nice thing about where we are right now in Giving Tuesday. So you can use this opportunity to start communicating with your potential donors and donors that it's coming and you're going to be doing something for Giving Tuesday. And what I recommend to my clients is using this opportunity to start planning. So do you have the ability to get matching donations? Maybe you have a board member or major donors who will match everything that is given on Giving Tuesday. You want to get that set up now so that you can announce that as part of your communication plan. You're going to increase your communication leading up to the day. And you're going to do that by these. So we're not going to be suggesting that you make asks between now and Giving Tuesday, but here's the opportunity to start telling your story, those compelling stories, those sharing all the good that you've done, and maybe doing spotlights on a couple of kids that you've changed their lives, and have them share what you have done for them. Maybe it's a quick video or something along those lines, and you're going to use these stories to warm up so that you get closer to Giving Tuesday. Then when you're making your ask, everybody really feels passionate about your organization and knows what the impact is going to be once they make that gift. On the day of, you'll send multiple social media, you'll send updates of how you're doing against your goal, or if maybe your goal is monetary, maybe it's the number of donors you want to participate, maybe it's the number of new donors. Giving Tuesday is a big day for getting new donors, not just your existing ones, but to really spreading your awareness, and so that you bring new donors into the organization. So you can, whatever your goal is, you can throughout the day, you want to say, thank you, we've got 25 donors today, we've raised $500. We're trying to reach 750, whatever it is. You want to engage your donors and your constituents by giving them updates. And if you're not close to making your goal, that's okay too, because sharing that might spur somebody that's already made a donation to make another one to help you achieve your goals. If you don't have a set goal, then I would say don't create an arbitrary one, because you want to make sure that it is achievable. Some of my clients, so they have a lot of experience in Giving Tuesday. They don't know what to expect, so I wouldn't put a goal there. But if you have one and you know what you're trying to achieve, then keeping people updated how you're doing against that is a great way to continue to communicate with them. And then you can tag donors on social media, thank people throughout the day so that they can see it. If you tag them in social media, their friends and family will see it on their social media feed, so you broaden your awareness. We looked at our statistics from our top Giving Tuesday fundraising organizations last year, and they each posted on Facebook at least 10 times on Giving Tuesday. Some of the top ones did almost double that, and that was just on Facebook. So this is, again, a time where you really want to be posting a lot, because all the other organizations are out there asking for money on Giving Tuesday and doing similar things. So in order to really get seen, it's going to take a higher frequency than your standard campaign. And then obviously you want to follow up and thank donors and acknowledge them and cultivate them to become long-term donors, especially if they are new donors to your organization. Again, since this is a day of new donors, you're going to want to tell them more about the organization and really do a nice cultivation campaign. And one of the ways that I talked about keeping people aware of how you're doing is by using a event thermometer. And I'm going to turn it back to Michael to talk to you about that aspect of a Giving Tuesday campaign.
Wonderful. Like we keep mentioning donor engagement, we want to keep your donors engaged and informed and aware of all of your storytelling. And as Christy was saying, planning is very important, and that's where MobileCause does step in. That's what makes us a very special company as compared to a lot of others that are out there. We don't just do software. We offer support and proven strategies that work year over year for our nonprofit clients. So one of the strategies that we do provide is this beautiful fundraising thermometer, completely customizable, branded to your organization, that can keep track of all of the donations coming in for your campaign. So we do want to start tracking all of the donations as they come in. And we will help you put these thermometers together and provide the strategy on where they should be located. These different types of audience-facing, donor-facing thermometers can be integrated and embedded right on your website. You can send out links through email and social media. And what's great about them is that any time a digital donation comes in through your website, email, Facebook, social media, or by text to give, the thermometer will automatically keep updating. The donors will get the recognition, which was one of our major points earlier, to recognize the donors. Their names will be scrolling down on the donor wall, going from left to right. And you will also be celebrating milestones as they happen. Using our technology, we can really have some beautiful graphs and videos that pop up thanking and encouraging donors along the way. So we really want to put the fun back into fundraising with some beautiful software and strategies that we provide. And this way the donor feels special and you are able to track all of your donations. You will also be able to add in manually all of your offline donations. Donations that come in by check or by swiping a credit card, or a corporation pledges a certain amount to you. You will be able to manually add those donations as well as all of the digital donations. So these thermometers will track all of your goal totals. As you can see, we built a little mock-up for Spirit of Giving. We may not have the time today to test it, but hopefully everybody taking a look at this today will get a copy of this webinar, and you will be able to text in Spirit OG to 41444 and test out our text to give services, and also click on the links that we provide for you. And we have made a lot of mock-ups with your branding and logos and imagery. So please take a look at that after today's webinar. We will get this forwarded on over to Susan, and hopefully she can share this presentation with everybody who was on the call today. Christy, anything else about the thermometer?
I think you did a great job. I think you covered it all. So appreciate that, Michael. So I'm going to introduce the concept of peer-to-peer fundraising, and then Michael's going to talk to you about how we could use MobileCause for your 5K. But I think you guys are familiar with peer-to-peer. MobileCause obviously supports that. But the real nice thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is the fact that it brings in new donors to your organization. So typically 5 out of the 8 donors that a volunteer fundraiser brings in are new to the organization, and the average individual fundraiser raises over $600. So that primarily is new money to your organization and new donors for you to be able to cultivate and nurture for long-term donors. And one tip that I will say for peer-to-peer is the most successful campaigns communicate with their volunteer fundraisers a lot. So we can assist you with that at MobileCause as well. But it's communicating to the fundraisers, so giving them tips, giving them little contests or challenges of who brings in the most donors for that week, or who increases their fundraising over the previous week or 2 weeks, or little fun ideas to keep them motivated, let them know how they're doing against their other friends and or other volunteer fundraisers, maybe give them some quick messages that they can share, and keep communicating throughout the campaign. It's not a push it out there and sit back and watch it go. There does take a little bit of engagement from your part, but it's really worth it and makes a big difference. Michael, you want to talk about? I can tell you're trying to get in, so I'm going to let you.
Thank you, Christy. When it comes to crowdfunding and peer-to-peer fundraising, the beauty part about this type of technology is that your supporters, your volunteers, your donors, your staff members, your board members, friends and family, they can all create their own individual fundraising pages. So as it pertains to your walk, run 5K, what we would want to do is help you build, and we've already done a mock-up here, and that's what you're looking at. And we encourage you to click on the links and poke around and see how it works. But we're going to help you build these beautiful landing pages that we're going to drive your supporters into. From these landing pages, they work as registration forms. So we can actually register all of your participants into the 5K, into the walk, at the very same time that they're registering and purchasing tickets and signing up for the 5K. Our system is going to automatically text message them and email them, excuse me, a link to become a crowdfunder. And when they become a crowdfunder, it only takes 2 minutes to customize their own unique pages. They're in charge of their own pages once they are created. They promote their own pages on Facebook, Twitter, email, text message. We give one-click shareable links where they can share their campaigns. Their friends and families are going to donate to them because they love them and that they're supporting this great cause of Spirit of Giving. All donations are directly linked back to Spirit of Giving, and it keeps track of everything. All of the different totals of the fundraisers. They can join teams. They can be individuals. We can have corporate level of crowdfunding. These templates are great for storytelling, as they can have your pictures and videos. We can have a media carousel with up to 10 pictures and videos on it. So it's wonderful for storytelling and pulling at the emotional heartstrings of your supporters. So these landing pages can be embedded on your website, into Facebook, They can also just be hosted as standalone landing pages as well. So, with our proven strategies, we're going to help you drive your supporters and donors to registration at the same time, becoming crowdfunders. There's normally a time limit where everybody is literally racing to get as many donations as they can before the cutoff. So it's a lot of fun, and it gives donors the opportunity to do something more than just write a check or text in a donation. They're out there letting their friends and family know about your great organization, spreading brand awareness to your cause. So this is the type of technology that we offer. And my vice president, Christy, she's the one and her team that will help you put together the strategies and best practices as we've hosted thousands of these campaigns before. So we're going to ensure that you're going to be as successful as possible.
And we really like those 5Ks and walks. Those are really fun ways to get involved in the community and to raise money for the organization. So we look forward to having the opportunity to work with you. Number 5, and I'm looking at the time, so I'm going to go through these quickly and ask Michael to do the same. Tip number 5 is video storytelling. Video rules the world right now when it comes to sharing your message and social media. Video gets people to remember your organization and your message, and it's more emotional than reading something, which is probably why it's everybody's looking at their phones and their videos. The nice thing about using video in a nonprofit is that it doesn't have to be high production quality. In fact, the selfies do better. It shows your fashion more effectively than Slick's videos, and with your phone and all the social media tools, it's really easy to create a really cute, compelling, interesting video. We suggest you can interview beneficiaries, you can have your executive director sharing updates, you could talk to kids, you could see them in action, you could do a tour of your office or facility, whatever your organization is doing. You could live stream your 5K. So whatever's authentic to you, you can use a video to tell your message. And if you use Facebook Live or YouTube Live, those, after they're not live, they still stay on your feed, and they're more likely to make it to the top of your followers' newsfeed, so they're more likely to get seen. Michael, is there anything you'd like to add to video?
Yeah, I was just going to say that MobileCause every step of the way allows you to embed your digital content into our technology so that your audience, your donors can always take a look at your videos and pictures and digital content. And when you put digital content inside of your campaigns, there's typically a 4 times higher submission rate. So we always encourage digital content whenever possible.
Great point. Thank you. And then my last tip is breaking the fundraising mold. It doesn't have to be, your fundraising doesn't have to be a gala. It doesn't have to be, just Giving Tuesday or some other day of giving. You can have fun with it. And these are some of the fun ideas that organizations that my team has worked with to raise money. And we've done voting contests where, for example, a Dancing with the Stars, where people were dancing and every dollar donated was like a vote, and whoever had the most votes, i.e. more money raised, won the contest. You could sponsor a child, sponsor a dog, sponsor a tree. We can help you set up pages where people can do a sponsor. Special day celebrations. We work with organizations where people, instead of wedding gifts or birthday gifts, they're asking for donations, and they have a dedicated page to collect money on your behalf. Project funding. We've worked with organizations who have prisoners putting together business plans, and people could fund those business plans through MobileCause. Pledge-a-thons. We've had spelling bees. We've had jog-a-thons, all those things. So we can work with you on helping to do something fun through a pledge-a-thon. So the nice thing about the MobileCause platform is that we've got the flexibility and the customization and branding ability to really do something fun and unique and have it really represent the spirit of giving and what you're trying to achieve beyond potentially some other the ways that you've been fundraising in the past. And mostly we want to help you ignite passion and create new donors and donations.
Okay, so that's about it for time. Christy, thank you so much for hopping on the webinar today with Spirit of Giving. And Susan, thank you so much for allowing us to present to your team today all of the different ways that we can help. Not only with events and campaigns, but year-round donor engagement, specific for Spirit of Giving, your 5K Giving Tuesday, ESPN partnership. Basically, with MobileCause and our support and our services, we want to leave no digital stone unturned in helping you promote your events and campaigns. So we'll be forwarding this whole presentation to Susan and hopefully can share it with all of you. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We've listed my email address, and we would really like to connect with you and do personalized presentations of our services. So, again, thank you all so much for the time and have a wonderful rest of the day.